Hi guys, welcome back to another Daily Tarot reading with me. I'm Ashley Rose and this is your Daily Tarot reading for Tuesday, October 11th, 2022. 11 is the master number of service. And so I love that for today because it's like, how can we be a service to ourselves so then we can be a service to others, right? And it's how it starts by you listening to your intuition, what you want to do, following your path so that you can then teach others how to do the same thing too. Or you can inspire others to follow their own dreams, to follow their own hearts. And once I ended yesterday's video, I had this thought and I felt like maybe I should share it now. In the way that like the cards were just all over the place and just kind of flew out, that we might walk into this week feeling like we still don't have everything put together. We still don't have it still doesn't make sense to us in our mind. But I think this week we're going to slowly understand that as things start to unravel and things start to unfold, and unravel not in a negative sense, but like unravel in this like beautiful magical sense of like we've been going through this transformation period, this butterfly, right? We've been caterpillars going into the cocoon, and it's like we are coming out now. We are shedding these layers. We are allowing ourselves to be who we are authentically, to shed our beauty, to shine our light. And it's time for us to share what our talents are with everybody else, but we got to do that by listening to ourselves first. So is the service that we need to do for ourselves, is that self-care? Is that taking some time to journal? Is that meditating? Is that, that thing that you've been wanting to do for a long time? Maybe, go to a yoga class, but you haven't been doing it because you don't have the friends to do it, or you're just too nervous. Today's the day to go do that. Be a service to yourself, because I feel like there's an opportunity, there's a person, there's an experience, there's a reason why you've been wanting to do this. So follow it. Don't hide behind it because you don't have people to do it, or it's not the right time, or your fear's in the way. We've released our fears. Okay, that's what these past couple months have also been about, and it's time for us to move forward. And also, when you kind of look at 11, it reminds me of the Two of Wands, right? Like, it doesn't really look like that, and it's like one and one, and we're standing in the middle of a doorway. And how we get through that is being a service to ourselves first, is following our desires, going after our dreams, taking a risk on the things that we want in our life, and allowing it to play out, allowing, again, our intuition to lead the way. Because if we tune into or go back to what my reading for this year would be, everything had to do with our relationship to our intuition, balance, and our spirituality. So if we can get ourselves in that space of listening, of tuning in, we are playing with magic, baby. Okay, we have, yes, I just want to say, on the bottom we have the Knight of Wands in reverse, and that is like, we are taking the action necessary. We don't have to, we're not unsure what we're doing anymore. We're thinking things through. We're not going after things just because we want to. We're not taking a risk without thinking about, what am I going to get in the end, right? It's like that thing, we're thinking about it. That's all we need to know. We're thinking about it in the right way. We're allowing ourselves to be guided by our intuition, and we're not just allowing our emotions, our energy, our excitement for what's coming in to kind of deter us or distract us from this road. We're going exactly where we need to be, because on the bottom of that we have the Three of Wands. So come on, because today's a big day. We have the Sun and the Hierophant. Okay, let's get into it. The Sun got a little caught up in there in the cards. It was trying to like hide, and I feel like that's kind of like our inner child kind of like coming out to play and then being like, do you see me? I'm here. And I also want to like touch on that, again, inner child. I also mean like you. We are coming home to ourselves. We are allowing ourselves to be comfortable in who we are, and we're letting our natural essence, our true purpose of who we are, to be present. And so I love seeing that with the Sun, because it's like we are aligning ourselves with that, and we get to be this like little child, naked, authentically us, on this unicorn, just waving our flag and living life, right? Like, look at the Sun. The Sun is the sun. It's the source. It's what powers you. It gives you strength. It gives you courage. You find confidence in that, and you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside, right? Like, that's happiness. That's joy. That's excitement. And he's waving this like wand of creativity and inspiration. And when you are in this place where you allow yourself to have an imagination about or you have to have an imagination. You can really create everything that you see. It's this like keeping ourselves pointed, keeping ourselves focused on what makes us happy, right? Because we see these sunflowers in the background, and it's that symbol of like they point themselves to what's going to give them life, right? So we need to point ourselves to what lights us up. Again, what makes our heart sing, what gives us joy, what makes us feel like a little kid on the inside that, you know, when we're doing our everyday things, it doesn't even feel like work. It doesn't even feel like, you know, stress or anxiety or whatever we used to feel. It feels like happiness. It feels like joy. It feels like we're connected to who we are and we're not even thinking about these things, right? And then we have the Hierophant. And the Hierophant sits here as like a teacher of an institution. It's like an authority. It's like it's like the Pope sitting in front of, you know, his people giving like a sermon, and people come to him for the answers, for the wisdom, for the key that unlocks the door to move forward, right? So we might come in contact with somebody that's going to be a teacher for us in this next journey of life, that sees all this inspiration, that sees all of this joy, that sees what we're focused on and helps us further it, that helps us get from point A to point B, right? And it's like we got there because, bringing it back to being in 11 today, we were a service to ourselves. We serviced ourselves by doing ourselves a favor, by living a life that was aligned with what we like to do, right? What our desires are, what, again, makes our heart sing at the end of the day. And that brought us to this place where we can finally have that teacher, have that mentor that we've been looking for. I know for me, for years, months, I've been asking like the universe, like, I am ready for a teacher, I am ready for a mentor, I'm ready for somebody to show me the way, show me the next steps of where I need to go. And I just haven't been receiving it. And it isn't until now where I am where I'm supposed to be, and I feel like I am way more closer, I would say, connected to who I am authentically than I've ever been. And I finally see that mentor, that teacher coming into my life, and I think, you know, it's really cool. So and I got here by trusting myself, by honoring my truth, by speaking my voice, and living a life aligned with who I am, right? And it might not make sense to a lot of people, but it makes sense to me, right? And just like this Hierophant here, Hierophant's 5, we free ourselves from any past beliefs, any past, you know, stigmas or ideas or things that kept us from accessing this new chapter, accessing this new path towards our desire, right? And so today we get to make the choice to unlock that door, to move forward. And it's going to feel big and it's going to feel powerful because we're talking about major arcana cards here, and there's 2 of them present, and they're life lessons. They're things that they're teaching us how to do. And the Hierophant is teaching us how to integrate change, how to take a risk, how to free yourself from whatever was stopping us before, and accept that there's conflict that comes along with it, right? But the conflict doesn't even bother us because we're sitting here on our high horse, so happy that we're aligned and living the life that we're meant to be, that it doesn't even bother us. Those things aren't even like, it's like we're so focused on the good that the bad doesn't even have, it doesn't even have an ounce of our attention. And I love that. I love that we are in this space where we are finally, you know, focused on what we want, right? It's like focusing, I think I said this a couple weeks ago, it's like this period of time may not be about your relationships, may not be about, you know, family, may not be about work. It's about you, what you want to do, what you're doing, what your life's work and what your purpose is. And so it could be some of those things, but the focus is you, what you want, what you see for yourself, and the work that you're ready to put in. And I love that today because I really feel like, you know, we have an opportunity to move forward with all this knowledge and this understanding and this connection to who we are and, you know, just something other than just here. And when I'm looking at these cards, even just like, you know, he's wearing this, again, we see this symbolism in this red dress of like your desires and tuning into what those are. And we add these up, we have 20 plus 5, 2 plus 5 is 7, and 7 is in the mind and creativity. So how are we going to use our minds today to be creative, to be inspired, to be enthusiastic about this next chapter coming in, because if we're waking up and we're keeping ourselves in that dark and twisty place and we're not applying ourselves, well, that's where we're going to still feel ourselves being stuck. We're still going to feel ourselves being stagnant. But accept the help that comes in today. Accept that you have a purpose and other people do in your life as well, and they might be coming in to help you, to give you a service, right? Just as much as like we are being a service to ourselves so we can help others, others are doing the same thing. So welcome them in. 7 is also, I want to say it's the Chariot, the major arcana, and that's going in the right direction. But I'm going to say it because it popped into my head. It's going in the right direction because I feel like it's necessary for us to know that through all of this like sticky stuff, we're going exactly where we need to be. So that's where I'm going to leave it. If you'd like to know more about me, what I have going on, or you'd like to book a tarot reading, you can go to ashleyrose.com. You can follow me Ashley Rose Tarot on Instagram as well. The links are in the description, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the daily tarot reading.